Hey, what's happening, family? It's your man, Mark Black. You know what time it is, fam. Hump days are back. Welcome to Hump Day discussions. Again, it's been a minute. Let me explain before we get into it. As you all well know, that with the advent of the Rona, I've got two people here: the missus that work from home, Miss Denny, and Miss Denny was set up out here where I broadcast, and she works um, through the time I normally would broadcast, which is about 4:30, Pacific time, right? So um, I had to kill the broadcast for Hump Day to allow her to be able to get her bread, right? But her office situation has changed, right? She's now got a kind of a little office set up in her room, right? So now my broadcast space, which is my living room, is free. And so Hump Days are back. And trust me, fam, it seems not a moment too soon, right? But before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to AL, to Adrique, to Darker Visions. I see you. Happy Hump Day to all of you, and Big Unk. I hope you can stay too as well. Trust me, I recognize that my Angry Black Sheep wasn't expecting a Hump Day broadcast. So if you're unable to stay, you need to catch this one on the re-up. That's perfectly fine, but I hope you can be here. Again, as per usual, family, make sure to click the thumbs. Make sure to share this one. We're going to have a discussion about next steps because, as many of you know, unless you've been living under a rock, Jim Crow Joe Biden selected Chameleon Harris, Kamala Chameleon Harris, as his running mate for the Democrats for vice president and president. Now, of course, as you all well know, Jim Crow Joe is bad enough, but he's now tried to take the one stone that we rejected and make it the cornerstone in a new edifice of white domination and white supremacy over our tribe here starting in 2020 and 21 moving forward. And so we need to have a discussion because unfortunately, fam, we are starting to see we're starting to see some crazy shit. Now, I'm with you, AL. I predicted that Trump was going to get a second term, and I still hold to that. As a matter of fact, I will be truly shocked if Joe Biden gets the nod. Uh, Too many issues, trying to attract too many of the people that already are attracted to Trump is as shitty as the traitorous bastard Donald Trump has been. And trust me, his handling of the coronavirus, the lack of addressing the situation with um, bounties being put on American soldiers, just a whole host of shit. His lies, corruption, the passing off of trillions of dollars via crony, banking capitalism because of the crisis to businesses, including some of which he owns, his violation of emoluments. I mean, Trump is for shit. We all know it. But nobody who would support Trump gives a fuck about any of that. And there's not enough people that don't support Trump to vote against him. Not to mention the fact that the Democrats have managed to alienate two of their largest bases possible. They eliminated us right out the motherfucking gate. Like we we rejected Kamala before she could even get the nod for president. Like we destroyed that motherfucker. Matter of fact, I still got a hard on to go after her seat, her Senate seat in 2022. So Kamala's done, right? But the thing is this: we have to understand that there is not a small number of us who are so big on having access that they think they'll gain through Kamala to white Democrats and the power of white Democrats should they get elected, that they're willing to accept literally anything at this point, including the continuing disrespect of our people, the continuing cloaking of Kamala in Black American skin when she's not us, right? The continuing attempts to sheepdog us back into a captive position with the Democrats. And it's fucking disgusting because you have, again, a not insubstantial number of us who still play politics the old way, which is we're going to get a Democrat in there and then we're going to put pressure on the Democrat to do what we need them to do for us. I asked a question on Twitter, fam. How do you hold Biden and Harris's feet to the fire after you done gave them the guns to make sure that they can stop you from doing it? In other words, the time to hold these bastards accountable, the time to hold these motherfuckers' feet to the fire is before you cast a ballot. Because in America, once you've cast a ballot and given them the guns and the butter, they can do whatever the fuck they want for 4 years. And anybody who doesn't believe me at this point, just simply have 45 to look at. Donald Trump has literally not given a fuck about the law, about the Constitution, about anything. Now, you say, well, hey, that's Donald Trump. He's a corrupt bastard. Okay, I get that. But the problem is that the machine still keeps spinning. As corrupt as he is, as little of a shit as he gives about the law, the machine keeps spinning, which lets us know one very important fact. As does Trump do, so can Biden do. Just like Donald Trump has been able to work the motherfucking machinery of the system and be as corrupt as he wants to be, there will be absolutely zero, nothing, nada that stops Joe Biden from doing the same motherfucking thing. So the time that we're supposed to press these motherfuckers, the time that we're supposed to put the smack down, the time when we're supposed to lay our demands on the table is before the ballot box opens. Nobody has explained to me yet what mechanism exists to actually put pressure on any of these motherfuckers to do anything once we give them the power. Nobody has been able to explain to me how you're supposed to hold Biden and Harris's feet to the fire when they got the guns and the motherfucking butter. Kamala Harris told us straight up, don't expect nothing specifically for Negroes from her. Zero. She said, let's be clear about that. So I'm not going to just sit here and say that I'm going to do something specifically for black people. No, because whatever we do for Americans, black people will benefit. So she done already told you that no matter what demands you make, she's not honoring shit specifically for you. And Jim Crow Joe has been instrumental for all the bullshit they tell us about Trump. And trust me, there's enough. Trump has done enough to where if you never support the man ever, you will not be wrong. But that motherfucker's only done this shit in the last 3 years. Joe Biden's been fucking black people stupid for decades. As the senator from fucking Delaware, he's been corrupt as fuck on economics. He's been in the pockets of big corporations forever in a month of Sundays, and that's just the normal Democratic shit. He's also the creator of one of the worst weapons ever wielded against us in modern day history that literally has millions of our tribe among the living dead, where they cannot get housing, where they cannot get assistance, where they cannot get education, where they cannot get aid, where they cannot get any fucking thing. And many of our brothers and sisters are sitting behind the walls doing life sentences thanks to fucking Jim Crow Joe. But they want to come to us and tell us that we should be happy to vote for a fucking brick as long as we get Donald Trump out of office. Let me let y'all in on a little motherfucking secret, fam. It wasn't us. It wasn't us that put Donald Trump into office. You may not have known that, especially with the way that the Democrats rode hard on us, talking about how our votes got diminished in 2016. And it wasn't because we actually looked at Hillary Clinton's ass and saw that she wasn't worth a fucking shit. No, it was because of the Russians, and it was because of this, and because of that. I know some of you wouldn't have known that from the response of the Democrats after 2016 when we failed to support Hillary's punk ass. But the fact is it wasn't us that put Donald Trump's ass into office. When you look at the exit polls, all of them, including the biggest one, CNN's exit poll, it shows two groups of Americans, just two, put Donald Trump into office. White men and white women. They had a chance to drum up support for us, from us, for Hillary Clinton. But you had Bill Clinton talking about that, yeah, he made a mistake, but so what? We need to get over it. Yelling at protesters and shit like that, like he's still some sort of fucking boss instead of the bastard that was in charge of the country during a time when millions of our people got turned into fucking criminals. You had Hillary Clinton doing the wobble with Roly-Poly Martin down in hot sauce and all this and that and the third, instead of providing us with actual fucking tangible resources, without providing us with specifics. And now they're doing the same shit again. The so-called liberal white folks is coming to us telling us that we need to vote for a brick. Sure, Biden's not the greatest. Sure, he's got his issues. But anybody better than Trump. Let me explain something to you, black family. Just like last election for president, this election is the same. And the most truest thing that you will ever hear from anybody politically, both from 2016 and 2020, is this. If you vote Democrat or you vote Republican, you vote blue no matter who. And when I mean blue, I'm not talking about the color blue. I mean your vote's blue. It's blown. BLEW. Vote blue no matter who. Whether you vote for Trump, whether you vote for Biden, your vote blue no matter who. The truest shit you will ever hear about both the 2016 election as well as this one. Now, I know I've got my 8-ounce brothers and sisters, shout out to all of them, who are going Democratic down ballot. So they're going to support baby Democrats down ballot, some of them. Some of them are a little bit more savvy than that and say, fuck the Dems or the R's. They're going independent and they're voting based off of their interests, based off of positions and so on and so forth. All right. But them is not the folk that we need to be having the war within with. The folk that we need to have the war within with are the ones who are committed to seeing us held in political bondage, in political chains. We are here working our ass off to press home the final justice claim that our people have against this country. Reparations. That's it, and that's all. There is no other goal, no other thing that is of value that will help more of our tribe, that will finally put paid to the injustices and the bullshit that we faced Lo, these 400 years, but reparations. Period. Point blank, the goddamn end. That's the fight. That's the goal. Not having another black face with a high title that does literally nothing for us. Literally nothing for us. If you're the child of an illegal immigrant, a dreamer, I imagine you feel pretty goddamn good right now with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris especially has made it clear that immigration is going to be a focus, a cornerstone of anything she does and supports as VP. And of course, Joe Biden has made it clear that he's going to make a pathway to citizenship for all these motherfuckers, regardless of whatever, from day one. His words, not ours. Right? Not mine. His. So if you're a dreamer, or even if you're not a dreamer, even if you're just an illegal immigrant, you have to feel pretty goddamn good about your odds fucking with the Democrats. You gotta feel somewhat settled. You just have a few more days to wait before you can possibly get ice off your back, before you can keep your job. Oh, and the Indians, fam. You know, Kamala's people, the Indians, right? Dot, not feather. They've got a whole lot to look forward to from a Biden-Harris administration, because Harris has already supported legislation in the Senate that increases the number of H-1B visas, allowing Indians to come over here and take tech jobs. So much for all that advice from the do-for-selfers, bootstrappers, who told niggas to just go get a STEM degree and go learn how to code, and we too could be making money like the white folks make. Nah, they're getting ready to hand all of those jobs to Indians. If you're LGBTQIA, LMNOP, QRST, VWXYZ, I would imagine that you're feeling pretty good about your odds with the Biden-Harris administration. I'd imagine you're feeling pretty goddamn good. Because even though Joe Biden is supposed to be so devout Catholic, Joe Biden ain't had no problem with helping to overturn laws that discriminate against homosexuals, gays, lesbians, transgender, bisexual, queer people. Not at all. His religion doesn't even enter into it as a fact. But if you black folk, I do not understand for the life of me what the fuck you have to be celebrating. I can't fathom it. I can't fathom it. The only thing that could possibly make sense is if you believe having someone with a degree of melanin in their skin in a place that you can claim is an accomplishment. Other than that, I can't fathom for the life of me why anybody who's our tribe member would be in any way right now feeling celebratory. You have two individuals who have built their entire careers off of ensuring that whatever they do, no matter what it is, whatever it is that they do, they have to ensure that black people do not benefit. You know, it would be one thing, fam, if Joe Biden was just a neglectful ass motherfucker, right? It would be one thing, I suppose, if we just look back over Joe Biden's legislative history and his history of support of different things, and it wasn't so much that he came out specifically to do things to hurt us. He just didn't come out necessarily to help us. That would be no more or no less than pretty much every politician from any party. Shout out to Monty and Easy Be Easy, by the way. Shout out my brother Double Cease. I see you. Happy Hump Day to all of you. And shout out to Sister Tiffany as well. It would be one thing. Fam, I get it. It would be one thing if Nakers was like, well, Joe Biden, he's been all right. He ain't really done nothing to hurt black people. You know what I'm saying? And he chose Kamala Harris. Ski-wee. Right? Okay, cool. I still wouldn't vibe with it, but that would at least make sense to a degree. But fam, both of these motherfuckers, both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, have both built their careers on ensuring that whatever they do, it involves the maximum amount of harm to our tribe. How do you reconcile that? How do you reconcile having any type of celebratory or any type of, exclamatory mood with the announcement that he's going to pick this bitch to run with him? What Jim Crow Joe is basically telling us as black people is two things. Fuck you. If you hadn't gotten the message prior to the announcement yesterday, if you were not aware that Jim Crow Joe has been giving black people the big fuck you forever in a month of Sundays, this election of Kamala Harris yesterday should eliminate all doubt. Fam, what she did in refusing to get justice for the family of Mitrice Richardson, what she did in locking up innocent black men in California prisons, even when she's been told that she should not, right, that she's supposed to release these people, that they're innocent, keeping them locked up anyway, using prisoner labor to fight wildfires when they wouldn't even give these men jobs as firefighters once they've been released from incarceration. Her support and the pushing of charges against families of students who were truant. Where has she ever done anything that we can even point to in California that was a net gain, a net benefit for us in our tribe? She's actively made it a point to work against our interests at every turn. I've heard people say, okay, well, maybe it's not Kamala, but she's going to inspire the next generation of young black girls. Inspire them to do what? To fuck their way into politics and ride the coattails of anybody that comes along and change position and flip-flop while making sure to always do the maximum amount of harm to black people? Is that what we want to inspire our young girls to do? Because I'm sorry, that's not what I would like to inspire young black girls to do. To become political thoughts and hoes and give it up to anybody that'll help them to pull the levers of power and get into part of the machinery and all this and that and the third. No, we ain't forgot about the fact that she and Willie Brown had relations. We ain't forgot about that. We ain't forgot that that's how she got her entree into politics. But she's supposed to be an example for my baby girls? Nigga, please. She's not. She doesn't even pretend well to actually wear our skin. You understand? Right? People say, well, she went to Howard. Is she an AKA? Ain't that black enough? Motherfucking Rachel Dolezal went to Howard. And I would argue that Rachel Dolezal actually did more to try to help black people than Kamala Harris. But we had no problem consigning Rachel Dolezal to the outer darkness because she lied about the fact that she's a black woman. But Kamala Harris lies about the fact of being a black American woman. And all of a sudden it's, oh, go Sora, ski wee. What? Because she went to Howard? Because she pledged AKA? Hell, them Greeks is taking anybody anyway. You got white Qs and white Kappas and foreign ass motherfucking AKAs. Who gives a fuck the fact that she's Greek, a black Greek? And black Greeks want to be white Greeks. That's why the boule exists. Shout out to Michael DeJean. I see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast and happy Hump Day to you. Also, shout out to ADOS7B1. I see you, fam. So she Greek and she went to a motherfucking HBCU, and now all of a sudden it's supposed to make her black enough when it don't make nobody else black enough. She don't even really have much melanin in her skin, fam. She look like a slightly tan white woman to me. I'm just saying. But we got Negroes bending over backwards to try and adopt this bitch. Like she's some stray from the motherfucking the dog pound or something. We don't need Kamala Harris. And truth be told, fam, we don't need Jim Crow Joe Biden either. They will try to scare you by telling you that Donald Trump, 4 more years of Donald Trump, means worse outcomes for black people. But what they won't tell you is that even if you elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris without a specific agenda to address the racial wealth gap, to address the historical disadvantage and lack of privilege that black Americans have had, we still gonna suffer. Only we're gonna suffer with a group of politicians that ain't nobody gonna be happy with us going up against. See, right now, we can shade Trump. We can go up against Trump and everybody be praising black people for going up against Donald Trump. Let Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get the nod in November. I doubt it happens. But let's say they get elected. Black people won't be able to say shit, no matter what happens the next 4 years. Nothing. And there's really 2 reasons why. One, because Kamala will basically be Obama 2.0. The moralizer in chief, the sheepdog, the tootie sheepdog, right? The boss of all sheepdogs. So that any black people that want access to anything under their administration will have to go through her. And second of all, it's because they've made it clear that their agenda isn't really in any way progressive at all anyway. Joe Biden has made it clear to businesses and corporations that nothing is going to change for them under his administration. So, the rich bastards like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos, they don't have shit to worry about with a Biden administration. It'll be business as usual for them. Sure, the rest of America might get a little extra. They might get a little extra come up. But we still on the bottom. We didn't ask or demand anything, so we get nothing. I don't understand how this is so hard. You got 100 famous black men writing an open letter to Biden demanding he choose a black woman as vice president. That's your demand in a time when we face double-digit unemployment. We're facing millions of black folk about to be evicted from their homes during a goddamn global pandemic. And this is your ask. And Diverse Tribe brought up a really, really good point. We rejected Kamala as president. We said no. Anybody but that bitch. But if she gets the nod via Biden's VP and Biden becomes incompetent, incapacitated, just simply unable to continue his term. And he's looking more and more shoddy every motherfucking day. Then you know who becomes president, right? The stone you threw away. The stone you threw away becomes the goddamn cornerstone. So much for motherfucking democracy. But then again, fam, Democrats ain't real big on democracy. I hope you understand that. They talk about rock the vote and they want you to have the power to vote and this, that, and the third, as long as you're voting for them, of course. Right? But they're not really peachy keen on democracy like they try to come off. Like they're not necessarily against voter disenfranchisement. They're not necessarily against any of that shit, especially when it affects us. Don't believe me? John Lewis recently passed away. Good fucking riddance. John Lewis, the conscience of the Congress, knew when he ran for office that he was suffering from terminal cancer, stage 4 cancer. He was dying from cancer. He knew. So instead of John Lewis falling back and letting the people decide who it was that was going to take his seat, the son of a bitch ran again and got to choose who sits in his seat. Where the fuck is the democracy in that? The DNC and the Democrats didn't trust you to pick a candidate. They didn't trust the people of his district to pick a candidate, to pick somebody that they wanted to have represent them. No. He was able to select and kingmake the person that he wanted to take his office. Last time I checked, fam, that ain't democracy. Did you hear a word from the Democrats about that? Did you hear a peep? Did you hear the Democrats go, no, John, no, I know you're old. I know you don't quite understand this, but we need to let the people pick. Did you hear any of that from the DNC or the DCCC? No? They don't give a fuck about democracy. They don't care about you having the right to vote. Not when they can just simply select somebody and put them in the motherfucking office. So Kamala gets selected, they get elected, and something happens, she becomes the president anyway. And we already know what a Harris administration is going to look like for black people. She done told us. There's no secrets here, no surprise. Those of us who are insistent at this particular point on being what I just call politically stupid are going to have to either harden the fuck up real quickly or they're going to have to get slammed. We have to have a war within. These people cannot continue to act as if they speak for us, to act as if they have any right to be at the table. Period. I don't care what their name is. I don't care how many blue checks and validations they got. I don't care how close to white folks they are. None of that shit matters to me. We don't have the luxury politically at this particular point of catering to people whose whole agenda is just simply more black faces in high places. The agenda is reparations. The policies will have to be that. And if it's not that, then I argue we vote for pain. And what do I mean by that? I mean vote in the way that will cause America just as much hurt as we about to face. It's as simple as that, fam. That's the strategy. If we can't get a candidate, a decent candidate that will even look at us and say our name with respect at a bare minimum, let alone actually put forward clear, substantive, definitive, tangible policies specifically for us, then if we can't have it, nobody else can have it. Thank you, Sister Monty. I appreciate the love via Super Chat. I say that we start playing the BDSM game politically. Shout out to my brother Alexander, Dr. Alexander Hamilton, for the reference. We need to bring the whips, the chains, and we need to make it hurt. So when you walk into that ballot box, vote for whatever increases the pain for everybody. Because we cannot be the only ones to continue to bear the goddamn suffering of the country. We can't afford to continue to be swept under the rug while everybody else gets the nosh on benefits. That can't happen. It never should have happened to begin with, but at this point in time, it definitely can't happen. Not when they can make the money printing machine go for whatever reason, for anything that they say that they think is important. Well, then we are important. We've been important. The debt that's owed to us is important. And we demand that that be done. And any one of us who can't get on board with that simple damned agenda is persona non grata. Fuck them. They can't eat with us. They can't be around us. They can't speak for us. They can't talk to us. They got to be out. It's as simple as that. Fam, we cannot continue to allow these people to have a place to stand under the sun and speak as if they speak for us. There is going to be much fighting done before this is all said and done. But the first fight we got to have is we got to have a fight in the house. We got to have the fight in the home. We've been being very kind, fam, I think, politically. We haven't really taken the strap to these people like we should have. People like, Jamel Hill, Mark Lamont Hill, and all these other, pundits, these black pundits, we haven't really brought the motherfucking heat to them like we should have. Yeah, we've been giving them a little shade, a little smoke. We haven't really done what is needed to ensure that they are essentially ran out of town on a rail, that they literally don't have a place to speak. How would it be if everywhere Jamel Hill went to speak publicly, we were there, and we were so fucking loud and disruptive and tearing shit up to where she couldn't talk? And it wasn't like that once, but it was like that every single time she showed her face outside of her little domicile. What if we took people like Van Jones and made it to where that fool couldn't even make it out of his house without seeing one of us in his face, yelling and screaming, going the fuck off, making his life a living hell, making it clear that every time he opened his mouth, he's speaking for him, not for us. That's what I'm talking about. We have to step our game up, fam. We can't keep just being, playing with kid gloves, because they're not playing with kid gloves. They're willing to sell us and our entire people out for access that isn't even been promised to them. It would be one thing, I guess, if Kamala said, even on the low key, right? Low key, like, hey, let me get in there. Let me have my moment, and I got y'all, right? And it would be one thing if she was at least saying that, even low key. But she made it clear. Fuck what you have to say if you are Black American. I'm not doing anything specifically for you. I'm not supporting anything specifically for you. She said that. Her words. What else do we need to hear from anybody who claims to be an analyst, a pundit? No. It is time, family, that we show our power. Not just politically, but in every sphere, in every arena. And the only way we could do that is we need to fight them. No more talk. We issue out warnings from here on out. The agenda is reparations. Are people being made whole? Period. That's it. That is the ask. From local to regional to state to federal. That's the ask. If you ask for anything else other than that, you get a warning. Nah, fam, that's not the agenda. We can put that on hold right now. This is what we're angling for. And the very first time that son of a bitch steps out of line and says anything else other than what the agenda is, they get the smack down. They get no peace. They can't go anywhere. They can't go anywhere. They can't speak anywhere. They can't earn any money without us being in their face. Making their life a living fucking hell like they're trying to make ours. Like they're trying to keep ours. Because it's only going to get worse for us, fam. People, even when the recovery comes from the coronavirus, we're still going to be the last ones hired and the first ones fired. And then if God's forbid that there should be a Biden administration, a Harris administration, they're going to open up the floodgates to so many fucking immigrants that it won't matter if you want a job anyway. If they can speak more than 3 words of English, you're out and they're in. That's not my words. That's theirs. You have to fight. And you have to fight using every stinking means you possibly got. No more nice guy politics. No more, saying, well, I kind of understand your point of view. No, fuck that. I don't understand a point of view that continues to keep us as the bottom caste. I don't understand a point of view that espouses anything like that. I don't understand, nor can cotton to a point of view that knows what will fix us and our people, yet can't advocate it for it. I don't understand a point of view that would talk all the way around the goddamn subject for months and months and months and months and have round tables and luncheons and meetings. I don't understand a viewpoint that would allow for that, but won't allow for us to be made whole. I don't understand it. I don't accept it, and I won't adhere to it. And anybody, I don't care who they are, they all get it. Everybody kill it. They all get it. D's, R's, whites, blacks, liberals, conservatives, gay, straight, atheists, religious, it don't fucking matter. If they're not on board with our agenda, everybody gets the pain. Everybody. When you go vote this November, they made it clear you don't have a candidate. You don't have a horse in the race at the top of the ballot. So if you're going to vote down ballot, do it. I support it 100%. Go right ahead. All right. Vote for your baby Dems or your baby R's, whatever. It don't matter to me. All right. But understand this. Whatever else you vote for as much pain for everybody else as you can. If there's some policy everybody else like, be contrary. Vote against it. Be one of the dissenters. We've been yes people politically to the Democrats forever in a month of Sundays. It's time for us to say no. They've been playing us like hoes. We're done. Fight. Because if you don't, fam, I can tell you what's coming. People are talking about 2053. The study that showed that by 2053, the black people median net worth will be 0. All of us. Nada, goose, egg. That's probably been hastened a bit by the coronavirus and the downturn we know is coming from that. The depression, because they won't call it that, but it's going to be one. The depression we're going to experience because of that. So I'm certain that date has been pushed forward quite a bit. But fam, by the time we even get close to that date, whether it's 2053 or 2043 or 2033, at some point, even if you want to fight, you won't have the means to be able to do so. You don't, family, wait until you've been knocked in the mud 50 goddamn times with your face bleeding and your jaw broken to finally throw a punch. That's not how this works. We're not Rocky Balboa. All right. You don't get in the ring and get drubbed for 12 rounds and then beat somebody up in the 13th. That's not how this shit works. If we don't stand up in every way, not just politically, but in every way we know how, and fight against these corrupt kleptocrats who are insistent upon really robbing all of America, but want to make sure that they put the nail in the coffin of the Black American. If we don't stand up and fight, we're going to have a hard road to hoe. And it ain't coming too long, fam. It's not going to be too long. Not too, I would argue a decade, maybe. But it won't be too long before we won't have the capability to be able to fight, though. I'll open up the lines a little bit, fam. 425-296-1980. I didn't want to talk for long, but I knew that y'all had heard about this stuff and y'all wanted to have it addressed. I know many of you are definitely dead set against the Biden-Harris ticket, right? But I want to hear from somebody who's been convinced that they should vote for Biden and Harris because of Trump. I'd love to hear from you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to call you names or treat you bad. We can have a discussion. I'd like to know what the hell it is that's actually motivating you to think that in some way, shape, or fashion, Jim Crow Joe Biden and Chameleon Harris is in any way better for us. I'm not talking about for all of America. Sure, to get Donald Trump the hell out of there, there's people that would walk butt naked down Fifth Avenue in the Macy's Day Parade with a dildo slapping them in the face. But we didn't put Donald Trump in the office. Why the fuck is it our responsibility to get him out? I couldn't care really less. Truth be told, Donald Trump has done nothing worse for Black people than anybody else has. So why should I feel uber responsible because they're feeling some sort of way? How is that in any way supposed to motivate me to cast my vote for Jim Crow Joe Biden and Kamala Chameleon Harris? I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. So without fear, what other argument can you make? What other logical argument can you make that would take and entitle my vote? I'd love to hear it. 425-296-1980 is the number, fam. If you have something you want to say on the topic, I would love to hear what your reaction was. I was not surprised, to be honest, at the choice of Kamala Harris. It actually, in some really stupid Joe Biden way, makes perfect sense. Because it's a way of pretending that he actually gave a fuck or listened to Black people without actually doing anything to actually benefit Black people. In its own really sick, twisted, weird way, it made perfect sense for Joe Biden to select Kamala Harris. Think about it, fam. It's a twofer. He gets to spit in the face of everybody who wasn't going to vote for him to begin with. So in other words, most of the people that are like against Kamala Harris wasn't going to vote for Joe Biden to begin with, right? So he gets to tell us the big fuck you, right? While cementing among Black folk who are buoyed by symbolism, who are buoyed by Black faces in high places, giving them a little bone. Calling from 808, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
Yes, this is Candy calling from the
Hey, sister, how you doing?
I'm all right. Look, when I saw what was going on, I wasn't necessarily surprised either. But I do know that I'm not gonna let this mess up my focus. Because like everything you said, this is a way for him to do things in a cloaked way. To say, oh, I'm not racist, look at this. I'm not racist, look at that.
Yeah.
We've seen this bait and switch many times before. Yep. This woman is not an elected official. She was chosen. Yet again, somebody with brown skin or black skin who was chosen to go forth and do great things in the name of somebody else cloaked in our harms and in our struggles.
Facts.
So I'm not going to let her get me off my square. I'm not going to let it at all. I'm going to keep on holding Joe Biden's feet to the fire. I'm going to keep on saying the things that I say. People say, oh, so you're a Trump supporter? No. Our choices are two, Trump or Biden. You choose whoever you want to choose. But I'm going to tell you this. Make sure that the person that you choose is advocating for you. And I'm going to press him on his advocacy for black people until November 3rd. And I'm going to press everybody that's supporting him on their advocacy for black people the same way that they advocate for everybody else.
Absolutely.
You want their vote, you give them stuff. You want my vote, we get a pretty face. Everybody else get legislation. We get a pretty face.
But wait a minute, sister. It's worse than that because we actually asked for a pretty face.
Yeah.
The thing that kills me, the reason why the broadcast today is titled "The War Within," it would be one thing if they just threw us Kamala as a bone, right? Like we didn't ask for her, but they just threw Kamala at us, right? We know how to deal with that. But the fact is that you got black people who claim to be acting in our best interest, who literally demanded just a face. We don't want any substantive policies. We don't want reparations. We don't want justice and a black agenda. No, we want you to select a motherfucker that look like us and put them in the VP spot. We demanded that. Yeah. That was the ask. Ain't that a bitch?
That was the ask.
Those people, that's what I'm talking about, sister. Those people.
Right.
Not the white folks. Fuck the Buckra. Fuck the liberals. Fuck the conservatives. Fuck the D's. Fuck the R's. Right? I'm talking about our tribe. We have to start putting down some enforcement from within. We have to say, nope. You know what? The fact that you even thought that you could open your mouth and tell these white folks that shit, you're done. Your goose is cooked. There's nowhere you can go and show your face where you get anything but fire, shade, and smoke from us. We will ruin your motherfucking life. We will make you a living persona non grata. Your life is hell. We need to start giving our own that demand such inane, puerile, baseless bullshit. We need to be giving them every bit of both barrels. Boom, boom. I'm serious,
and then
sister.
They ain't still understand. They're not going to understand. They're going to say we're being xenophobic or we're being mean and hateful or whatever. No, I just got through having a long discussion with someone just saying the very same thing. And with that argument, well, black people supported this, and so I'm talking to them too.
Yep.
I don't understand how you could say you believe in the cause and you for black people, but yet still you sit up here and allow the oppressors to come back and then don't hold those oppressors accountable whenever they say, oh, I'm sorry now. You don't hold any of them accountable. Hold these folks accountable. And I'm holding these voters accountable too.
You damn right.
What we supposed to do? We only got two choices. We make your choice a better candidate.
No, we don't. Because the crazy part about it is that there's a party in this country that consistently, since 2004, has supported reparation that black people don't even talk about. The Greens.
Yeah.
Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker are running for president and vice president under the Green Party platform. I'm the only one that I know of in my political circle that even mentions the Greens. I voted green the last three motherfucking presidential elections because guess what? I don't vote blue. I don't vote. My vote is not going to be blown. I don't have to vote for D's nor R's. I can vote G's.
You can vote for the G's.
You damn right. Your vote isn't wasted simply because everybody's trying to say that the Greens don't have a chance to get in. I don't vote for evil. And anybody who doesn't support an agenda for me and my people is fucking evil. I do not waste my vote selecting between the lesser of two evils. The Greens support consistently reparations on their platform and racial justice in America. You're not stuck with the option of just a D or a R. And think about if all black people were to kind of migrate to the Greens, how much more political space could we help them gain? Now, I'm not saying we necessarily need to do that because, again, the Greens ain't a black-oriented party, although they support black interests, right, in the support for reparations and stuff like that. But they're not a party we yet have any kind of control over. But there's a mechanism and a vehicle right there. We don't have to kiss Biden and Kamala Harris's ass for anything. We can say, hey, fuck you. You don't want to offer us anything specific? We can take our votes and go to the motherfucking Greens and we'll dampen it for all of you. You want to talk about a vote for not voting for Biden is voting for Trump? Oh, well, shouldn't have put Biden up there. That ain't my fucking fault. Y'all look good suffering under another 4 years of Trump to me. This country look good suffering to me. I'm done being nice.
It angers me. It angers me when I see the disrespect. But like I said, I'm not going to let it distract me. I'm not going to let it knock
all
me
of those
off
entertainers that signed that letter to have a black vice president with no black agenda need to be canceled. I'm not for cancel culture, but for them I would make an exception.
I was one of them. I didn't see the Obama light until later on, and now that I see it, I can make all the connections easily. I see all the through lines. And I'm not going to fall for the okie doke no more. And enough of us are not falling for the okie doke. You know, we're not falling for the okie doke.
Nope.
We're pressing these local politicians, we're pressing these local candidates for their black agenda, for reparations, and it's going to trickle all the way, not trickle, but it's going to build itself up.
You damn right. Look at what's going on in Louisville. Shout out to Brother Chikori. Right? Brother Chikori just got elected to the Louisville City Council, and that brother is black on all day long for our people.
Exactly.
You feel me?
And if they can be full-throated for their agenda and for their people, we can be full-throated for ours.
Absolutely.
We have to kowtow to them. No, we don't have to kowtow to them. We don't have to kowtow to them at all.
That's right.
We are who we are. And we're going to continue to be who we are. You want our vote. So earn them.
Yep, if they're not coming with a specific agenda for the descendants of the enslaved here in the United States of America, fuck them. I don't care about Green New. I've said this over and over. I don't care about Green New Deals. I don't care about motherfucking climate change. I don't care about the red-breasted swamp booby. I don't care about none of that shit. If you're not fixing us at this particular point, you're not saying anything I can even comprehend. I don't even hear you. If anything that's coming out of your mouth politically ain't reparations and black agenda specifically for us, I can't hear you. I don't understand what you're talking about.
And I'm with you. Brother, that's all I got.
Sister, you said enough. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for the word.
No problem. You be good.
I will, sister. Peace. Hey, Big Zoe, I want you to call in, fam. You said I'm the issue because my vote is a vote for confusion. I'm not confused. By the way, shout out to my beloved sister Toolbox. Shout out to Tazabah. Shalom to you. Caller from 301. It's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Well, what's happening, my brother?
Brother Elder Richard, man, how you doing, fam? I got told I'm the problem because I'm voting for confusion. That sounds like a winner to me. Would you tell me what you think, Elder brother?
Okay, my brother. This is a very dynamic topic that you've chosen tonight, and I was revisiting history. I was revisiting history, and the history that I go back to at this time is I go back to the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. during when the Civil War was beginning to gain, beginning to become a reality, it was this president of a college in Louisiana. He was the president of a college down in Louisiana, which the South had tried to make a strategic move to get his support. And his name was William Tecumseh Sherman. I guess that's how you pronounce it.
Tecumseh, elder brother. It's Indian. It's Native Americans, Tecumseh. But okay. I know what you're talking about. Tecumseh Sherman.
Tecumseh Sherman. Okay, I had trouble pronouncing it. When he realized that the war, that there was going to be war between the Union and the Confederacy, he realized where his allegiance was. Okay, we as Adolf people, we got to realize where our allegiance is. Mm-hmm. His allegiance, you know, his allegiance was not. His allegiance was not with the South. His allegiance was with the Union.
That's right.
We have Adolf people. We have got to realize where our allegiance is. You know, we gotta realize that our allegiance is with Adolf, and that the main thing on our agenda is restoration. We got to, more so than ever now, we got to begin to definitely concentrate our energy and focus on what we really need, what we got to have, and what's priority number one.
That's right.
These so-called advocacy, these so-called people who have advocated for a black woman being elected vice president, they don't speak for Adolf. This so-called 100 black men that signed this petition or signed whatever this was, they don't speak for Adolf. It's time that Adolf began to counter any type of move like this, and we gotta find a way to get our voice out there. When some group of black women, Adolf women, who pretend to speak for us and make it known to the media that they are, you know, bidding for, you know, that's the number one thing that they want is optics, or they want, you know, superficial politics, optics and tokenism. We can't sell for that now. It's time for that. It's time for all of that.
Yeah, that's some childish shit.
Like you said, good riddance to bad rubbish. That's a term that I've heard. Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Yep.
You know, and it's time for this rubbish to be realized for what it is and so forth. We don't need tokenism. We don't need optics. And we don't need superficial politics at this time. We got to, like you said, we got a hard road to hoe. It's a hard road to hoe. See, I was raised in cotton country, and I spent many days chopping cotton and picking cotton. Mm-hmm. I know what a hard road is to hoe. It's when you're at the beginning, are you at the end of the perimeter? You at the end of the boundary of the cotton field.
Yep.
And you take a view of the road that you got, and you look at it, and you see all types of grass, and you see all types of Johnson grass and weeds.
The weeds and all of that.
And you'll say, you know, people, older people, you'll say you got a hard road to hoe, you know.
Yep.
You know, you got a hard road to hoe, and so when you had a hard road to hoe, what we did in the cotton field is that everybody pitched in and helped you out, you know. When you got a hard road to hoe, that's when the collective will look at it and say, well, you know, my road is not too bad. I don't have too many weeds on my road. So when you get to that bump, you get to that patch, you get to that place in your road where you got a lot of Johnson grass and all these weeds and stuff, everybody was pitching in and help.
Yep.
So more so than now, you gotta focus on the collective now.
That's right.
There's no time for individualism, tokenism, optics, and so forth. And we gotta realize that there's certain things that's just not in people's DNA. You know, it's not in Kamala Harris' DNA, and it's not in Joe Biden's DNA to use, to use a more biological, term and so forth for them to advocate for. They're not gonna. At the present, it's gonna take a rude awakening for them to begin to advocate.
Oh, Brother Richard, you said a word, fam.
I just don't see it now.
You said a word, fam, because you're right. Nobody can define what this mechanism is supposed to be of holding their feet to the fire when there's nothing that they have ever done throughout their political careers that ever indicated that it was even possible to move them. Name me a president that we have been able to move without basically burning the country down. Name me a president that seriously, when you look at what happened during the civil rights era, Martin Luther King and all them was marching and stuff like that, and I respect it, all right? It's all good. I'm not shading them, okay? Right. But when we started talking about black power, right, when we start carrying guns, when we start saying that it's either going to be the ballot, y'all going to either do justice by the ballot or y'all going to do it by the bullet, that's when shit started to, people was like, oh, we need to start talking to the, and then, of course, what happened in 64, when they killed King in 68, what happened in this country? This country burned. Our people were still talking. We sat here and we lit this damn thing up. That was the only reason why we ever got any real change in this country, is because we were willing to make the whole damn country suffer. And that's what I was trying to tell Big Zoe. He's like, look at who we supposed to follow, who we supposed to put in charge, this, that, and the third. Fam, follow yourself and follow what's the interest of our tribe. If the Green Party will get us somewhere further right now than anybody else, then you need to fuck with the Greens. There should not even be no discussion. If they have reparations on their platform, and they've had it on their platform since 2004, I know, I checked, right? And they made sure that it wasn't reparations for Indians or, Native Americans and for, diaspora Africans all around the world. No, the Greens were specific. They said reparations for the descendants of the enslaved in the United States. If they have that on their party platform and you vote for anybody else for any other office other than Greens, you don't get to tell me shit.
Right, yeah. I think, I always, I like history. I love history, and doing, if you look at the Civil War history, if you look at a war in itself, when you say war, a war is usually, when you go to war, it's going to be many battles you're going to take. We got to realize, where we are at. What battle we fighting at this point in the war, like you came up with the word war.
Yeah.
When you said war.
The war within, and I meant it, because war is nothing but politics by other means.
Right. When you say war, we got to come forth with many strategies, make adjustments and so forth. But we realize but we always keep focused on what's the objective, what's the goal, and what's the driving force. You know, what's the driving force? What gives us passion? What's the driving force in the war? You had last week. I was able to. I had difficulty calling in on your
on the Saturday broadcast.
On your message last week,
yeah,
you were talking about freedom, what price for freedom or something. I think that was it, the price of freedom, and it took me back into history, and I always, I'm a history lover, and I went back to beginning of the American Revolution, and you had this person, and his words written in history. I think his name was Patrick Henry. He said, "Give me liberty or give me death."
Facts.
So, it's either you gonna give me reparations or nothing else. We want reparations is what moves our people forward, what moves ADOS, what brings us out of being the lower caste.
Yep.
Reparation is our way out, and don't think of it just like I'm 72. I don't think of it for me, but I think of it for my tribe, for the children for the baby that's being born today, or for the children that have disadvantages, have poor health, or have maleducated, doesn't have the opportunities.
I hear you, Brother Elder. You're planting seeds for trees under which you'll never sit. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. But
that's called a legacy, fam. Our people have been downtrodden for so motherfucking long that we don't think about things in terms of legacy. We are a right now, this moment type of folk. Right? Because to think about legacy requires that you think about the future, that you think about generations in the future. Now, when you have all the power, because people say, oh, them racist white folks, they make plans, 100 years in the future. Okay, yeah, they make plans, but 99% of those plans fall apart, right? So they're not smarter than us. But the thing is it's easy to make plans when you have all the resources, when you have all the power, right? But for us, we will show that we've evolved as a tribe when we start acting as if lineage and legacy are the things that drive us. I'm not necessarily wanting to see us get our due, because I am hoping it for me. I'm a middle-aged guy. I'm 47. If we get reparations in the next 20, that'll be a hell of a slog. That'll be a hell of a fight. And I might see it before I die. But it doesn't matter if I see justice for our people before I die.
Right.
It matters that justice for my people come so that my children and my children's children and my children's children's children don't have to live in the same type of America that we've had to live in these 400 years. Right? So we need to change the game up and start thinking in terms of lineage and legacy, because lineage is actually closely tied to legacy, right? We talk about lineage because the enslavement of our ancestors is a part of our legacy. That is literally a part of our legacy, right? Which is why lineage matters, which is why our heritage matters. You dig? So the thing is that we have to have this war within. We have to turn on these bootlicks, these sellouts, these traitors, essentially, to our tribe, and make their lives a living hell. Make it to where they don't have a space to breathe, no place to stand under the sun. Wherever they are, we need to be, and we need to be fighting them. Not sitting there trying to convert them or change them. You can't convert these people. On the day that they cut the check in America, there will still be people among us who will be willing to try to find a way to sell us out so that we can't get it. The very day we get justice, there will be a black face that shares our heritage and our lineage who will still be sitting there saying, man, that's messed up. We didn't even need reparations. And reparations can come in different forms. Why y'all choose this? Damn them. They need to be cut off. Their air supply need to be cut off. They need to have no place to stand, period. We have to have this war within, brother.
Yes, I'm glad you. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you brought this matter. Brought this topic up and so forth. I'm gonna go on and conclude this discussion. Conclude this conversation. Conclude this interaction between you and I. But my last point is that we got to, more so than ever, we got to take a stand now. We got to stand for. We got to take a stand for what we are about, what we need as a people, who we are as a people. Our leaders. We got to take a stand more so now than ever. It's and then as you said, these people that mainstream media keep pushing up, putting in our face and trying to say that they speak for us. We got to make it be known that they do not speak for us. They are not relevant. These Bakari sellers and these Van Johnsons and these Angela Rye and
all of them.
All of these people that they trying to put up and say that they speak for us. They do not speak for us. They do not speak for our interests. They do not advocate what's best for our people. So we ADOS has got to begin to take that battle on too.
Yep, and it's a fight that I'm ready for. I'm here for it. Yeah. I want us to be loud in their face, disrespectful, misbehaving. I want us to bring the motherfucking pain. It's about time.
Yeah, it's about time, my brother. And I want you to keep on doing what you're doing, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And, you have be encouraged and realize that you have some strong voices out there. You got Mickey X. You got some strong voices out there with you. As our sister Yvette has said, we got to realize that politics is not about emotion. It's not about optics. She said, in the words of Yvette, politics is a blood sport.
Damn right it is.
If you don't realize that politics is a blood sport, then you need to go and sit down and let those who really can engage in this sport, who have the passion and who have the conviction, and who have the leaders go on and deal with the sport. Peace. Absolutely, you, my brother.
All right, peace to you, Brother Richard. Thank you for the word, man. I appreciate you. Brother Richard is spot on right. There's a lot of us that need to shut the fuck up. There's too many people talking, and everybody's saying some wild ass, weird ass, crazy ass shit. Like, who in the hell made Ice Cube some arbiter of what constitutes reparations and this, that, and the third? Look, I don't want to hear shit from nobody. We've got scholars. We've got people that have been working on this as a project for decades. I want to hear from them. I don't give a fuck what Ice Cube got to say. I don't care what Nick Cannon got to say. I don't give a fuck what Akon got to say. I don't give a fuck what none of these so-called celebrities got to say. They can keep staying over there in the cut singing songs about wet-ass coochie and this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, I got fighting to do. They can stand over there and continue to bootlick and backtrack and kowtow. Meanwhile, I got fighting to do. I'm here to be disrespectful. I'm here to be loud. I'm here to be in their motherfucking face. I'm here to make their lives just as much of a hell as they've made me and mine for the last 400 years. Who's with me? We don't need no specific leaders for that. Every one of us has the responsibility and the opportunity to be as damn disrespectful as we possibly can be. Politically, economically, socially, we need to be out here as a tribe eating everybody's lunch and daring them to get mad. Because that's when the fun begins. They want us to eat all the failure, us to eat all the suffering, us to be America's scapegoat. So they keep putting up new Judas goat after new Judas goat after new Judas goat to lead us right back into the motherfucking slaughter pen. As an angry black sheep, it's my time to tell you that we ain't following no more goddamn Judas goats. I don't give a fuck what faces you put up. If those faces ain't on board with a specific black agenda and reparations for our people, they ain't saying nothing I'm listening to. They're not saying anything I care to hear. They can dance, they can go ski-wee, they can have hot sauce. I don't give a fuck. And neither should you. Fam, we need to fight as if we have nothing to lose for one simple reason. Because we don't have nothing to lose. Sorry to be the one to tell you, but at this point, whatever it is you think black people got, we ain't got it. We don't have it. I don't care how successful you think black people are being or how successful you think we can be. At this particular point, we're fucking done. If we don't fight, we are done. Caller from 413, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind? Hello, caller from 413, it's your man Mark Black. Okay, try and give me a call back. Durable Goods say I may vote down ballot just to leave a record that I was there and said, nah, I hear you. You know what? I had a ballot up here in Washington State. And of course, as you know, Washington State is white DeVille. So ain't nobody up here advocating nothing resembling the black agenda. So I wrote in ADOS on pretty much every spot except where I knew the candidate was on some shit that I could support. Then I voted for them. My whole ballot was covered in ADOS. I'm not against down ballot voting. As a matter of fact, my only beef with Tone and the reason why I got blocked is because he said Democratic. Fuck the Democrats. I wouldn't vote for a Democrat if them motherfuckers was handing out $200 checks at the ballot box. Not this go round. Not with the disrespect that they shown us in 2016 and in 2020. Man, fuck the Democrats. Caller from 413, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Mark?
What's good, fam?
Good to here.
Hey, holler at me, fam. What's good with you?
Man, like I said in the chat earlier, left of the two evils, a righteous person, why would choose evil at all?
Exactly. We talk about how much of a righteous people we are, yet we still cater and kowtow to evil every motherfucking election and at every turn and wonder why we only experience evil. I'll be damned.
Well, when you said the Green Party, I'm glad you said that, because in my town, you get to mail in our ballots. But what they do is you have to pick a party that you're interested in, and they send you a ballot for that party.
Right. It's called a closed primary. Basically, only the people who are members or are supporters of a particular party can vote for members of that primary in that party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, the red and blue, Libertarian, and green.
Yep.
That's what they get. That was option they get.
Some places got more parties. Like they have socialist parties in California and Washington State. They got, do nothing parties in some places, and so on and so forth. So there's other parties other than those three, but those are basically be the three you see in most places. Red, blue, and green.
Yeah. That was what it was.
But they won't see, here's the thing, fam. They want you to believe that because no one else will give the Greens a chance, that you shouldn't give the Greens a chance. Even though the Greens support everything that I've heard that black people like. The Greens support health care for everybody. Black people like that shit. Greens support good education for everybody. Black people like that shit. Greens support reparations. Black people not only like, should like, but need that shit, right? The Greens support everything that black people claim they like. Yet, the D's just come along and say, well, if you vote for the Greens, you're basically voting for Trump. And they go, oh, shit, I don't want to vote for Trump. What?
Because they think we spook too easily. And some of us do. I'm being honest about that. So, I'm not voting for Jim Crow. And I said, oh, come on, hear a thing? I kind of saw that one coming.
I did too. And like I said, I wasn't surprised.
I'm thinking when I saw it coming. When Stacey Abrams thought she was going to get it.
Yep.
Okay. And you saw the interview and she saw the look on her face. Where she didn't get it.
Somebody need to check. Somebody need to do a suicide check on Stacey Abrams right now. Make sure she all right.
You make sure she didn't.
Make sure she didn't slit her damn wrist.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I'm like, who else has been keeping hard against us? I know the Cardi B dancing, Mrs. I'm not doing something for black people. No, her.
Yep.
Sweet, whatever. So I'm like, come on, only logical choice in this.
It's a win for Biden. Just to keep it a buck, it's a win for Biden, right, to have chosen Chameleon Harris. Yeah. Because, like I said, it gives him the appearance of listening to black people without even having to worry about or even be concerned about doing anything specifically for black people. You would almost think Joe Biden came up with the idea himself. I doubt it, but you can almost believe he came up with it.
But like I said before, man, I wasn't surprised. Now, only thing I didn't know was people, and I'm not surprised about this either, people were capable, well, we want a black face in office. Really? That's all you want?
That's all they want.
So, forget you guys are rich, and you guys don't think about the rest of us. You guys got your money. You guys got your justice claim. But here's the bad part. When something happens to them, and they get their big moment, well, wait, black people stand for us. Wait a minute, you stood against us. Once you walk out from the family, stay out.
Facts. That's all I'm saying at this point. These motherfuckers moving forward, I'm going to ask people. They're telling me they're having troubles, they're struggling, they're having trials. I'll be like, who'd you vote for president? Well, I voted for Joe Biden. Well, you look good having problems to me. Good luck. What you come to me for? I'm serious. I'm being ice motherfucking cold moving forward. If you selected evil, don't ask me for shit. If you were against us and against our agenda, against the proposition of justice and reparations for us, you can't ask me for shit. You can be hungry. I'm gonna look at you like, damn, your stomach growling, boy. I hope you find something. I'm not kidding. That's the hardball that we gotta start playing with each other. We gotta be so ice cold that if you support in any way our continued oppression, our continued denigration, if you've casted a vote thinking, well, my grandmother, she Democratic, she told me, well, you go ask your grandma for some help. Don't look to me. Don't look to me. Seriously. We gotta be, man, fam, we gotta be ice motherfucking cold. If somebody supports a business that shits and shades on black people, us specifically, fuck that motherfucker. Oh, man, I need some money to pay my light bill. Hope you come up on that. Good luck. You seem to have no problem making sure that I continue to suffer, so I don't have no problem making sure your ass continue to suffer. It's simple as that. That is how we're going to bring order to this thing. Because the problem is right now is everybody running off willy-nilly. You feel me, C's? Everybody running off willy-nilly, fam. You got people, some people saying this, some people saying that, some people talking this, some people talking that. Then they put a black face up there, and everybody's like, "Ooh, ski weird." You know, you can't. Somebody even said, "Man, AKAs, you ain't gonna be able to tell them shit for the next 4 years." Who cares? Damn them motherfuckers. Period. They want to support her. I got nothing for them. So when they're struggling, when they can't get jobs, when their jobs are getting eaten up by foreigners who get to come over here on H-1B visas and shit like that, don't come crying to me. You look good unemployed. You should have thought about that shit before you cast your motherfucking ballot.
I'll say this, too. That sounds like a personal problem.
Boom. You wanted to make politics personal. You deal with your personal problems. I'm only messing with us who think of politics as a collective, who are looking for a collective agenda. If you ain't supporting that and you out there just willy-nilly supporting whatever politically, fuck you. Struggle. Hell, die in a fire. I don't care.
A win for me is a win for you.
Thank you. If it ain't, then we got a problem.
Yeah. So, not that rising tide raises all boats crap either, but like, a win for me is a win for you. And if people always have that Highlander mentality, and I've said this to you before, they want to be the HNIC. There only could be one mentality.
Yep.
That gets us fucked up every time.
Absolutely.
I mean, personally, I say this. All the Coons and Boscos and Buckra, just get rid of them guys first. Because they do it so good, they're dead weight.
Absolutely. Harriet carried a pistol for 2 reasons. One, to defend herself against them damn patty rollers, the slave catchers. And the other one was to make sure that if she had to leave a motherfucker behind, it wasn't going to be nobody left to tell the story.
Well,
thus always with us until we get freedom. You're going to have to always kind of be like that with us. And it's not that I want it like that. I would love it if black people just woke up tomorrow and understood that, hey, it's about reparations and that's it. But until we do, if you got to leave anybody behind in the political dust, you got to have a bullet for them. It's simple as that. You can't leave nobody behind to tell the direction we going.
Facts.
Leave these motherfuckers a cup of water, a piece of beef jerky, and say, okay, fam, good luck to you. The North Star that way.
You're nicer than me.
I was being nice and still wasn't. I was being too nice. Too nice.
You mean?
I was being too nice, fam.
The best gift, I'm going to give you the same thing you gave me. Nothing. That's the best gift I'm going to give you. Nothing.
Yep. I mean, what a spit in our face. We basically said to Kamala Harris, don't even try it. Don't even try to be the president. We shut her ass down so fast that it made your head spin. And who he choose? The one we spit in, the one that we shut down, the one we told to get the fuck on, the one that we made kick rocks. If that's not disrespect to you black people, I don't know what you consider disrespect from Jim Crow Joe. Seriously.
Well, he didn't want to disrespect you, ask me, and I won't say it because this is a family show.
Since when?
But the point is, I get the mentality, well, fuck it, they're not going to vote for me anyway, I'll get somebody.
Yep.
You and Mr. You ain't black. Well, I'm getting me a light-skinned, dark-skinned, Kamala.
Yep. He got him a darker-skinned white woman. Because she's just white enough to appeal to some of them white folks. I mean, you want to talk about... you should have knew that there was a trick bag to it. If you go on social media, right, you see black people rejoicing over Kamala Harris, for the symbolism and shit. Okay, cool. But you know who's happier than these no good ass, politically immature ass Negroes? liberal white folks. Oh, fam, they clapping their hands in utter applause. Great choice, Joe. You couldn't have done it better. We're so proud to be a member of this party. Joe, Biden, Harris 2020, here we come. I will tie a brick to my feet and jump off in the motherfucking water to vote for Joe. White folks is loving it. These white liberals, these neo-libs, they loving it. And fam, how many times I gotta tell you that if they happy with it, it means fuckery for us. Like, fam, this is the crazy part. You need to gauge what would make you an effective Democratic Party member as a black person. It's simple. Any policy that the vast majority of the Democrats, that white liberal Democrats support, that they happy with, any candidate they like, is bad for you. It's not hard. It's not hard to figure out. If they rejoicing, you're going to be weeping. If I've learned nothing else about the Democrats, I've learned that. That if there's anybody that the white liberals is happy with, if there's any policy they support, black people are going to be crying in the morning. That's real talk.
Yeah, black people is like a walking shame that night after. Like, after you woke up with the person you didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. But, and guess what? As far as Joe Biden thing, come on, all those liberals, it was like the best fan fiction erotica story they ever had. Yep. They all got off on it. And you see that, that's when you need to worry. That's when Because when I said, I don't think Jim Crow drove, and me and Mom had arguments about this, literal arguments. And I can't stand Kamala even more.
That's it, fam. That is it right there.
I was like, I'm done.
I just laughed my ass off. When I heard the announcement, I was like, oh. I said, oh, he went there. Okay. Jim Crow Joe, we got you. I'm going to light his ass up and her ass up all the way to November and beyond.
Jim Crow Joe and the Ben Winch.
Yep.
Oh, this story writes itself.
Exactly, fam. You couldn't invent better fiction than this. If you were sitting down to try to write a story, you couldn't write a story like this. This shit writes itself. Life truly is stranger than fiction. You know what I'm saying? The Bigot and the Bed Winch by the Democrats. Page 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Bigot and the Bed Winch. Like, fam, you got folks on Twitter right now joking. Like, this brother put out a joke, and I thought it was funny as fuck. He said, brothers, when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get elected, how do you want your cell to look? He said, I'm going for simple but elegant. And he had a picture of a prison cell with a writer's desk in it and shit like that. Man, because we already know. No matter what happens for everybody else in America, for us, it's going to be more of the same fuckery. No matter if it's Trump or Jim Crow Joe. No matter if it's Pence or Harris. It doesn't matter. So, kissing Jim Crow Joe ass how much you're going to push him to the left. Good luck with that. How well has that worked out for any president? Because, see, they keep talking to us like we can't look back at other presidencies and see that all the pressure everybody claims they put on the president never works. Because once I got my hands on the motherfucking nuclear football, the guns and the butter, how you gonna pressure me? You pressure me too hard, I just send motherfucking federal police into your city to lock it down. Trump did it. And if you think Jim Crow Joe Biden ain't above it, I don't know what to tell you. Being led by Kamala Harris. Hell, she like locking niggas up. So, she'll gladly take that on as a pet project.
The difference between Trump and Joe, I'll say this, and I'll leave. Trump at least is out front with it.
Boom.
He'll tell you what he's going to do. Like, when he said about the stimulus package, yeah, you vote for me. And see, the devil's always in the details.
Yeah.
So when you listen to Trump speak, I'm like, well, if you vote for me, I'll give you $400 at the end of the year. If the state's willing to pay $100, I'm like, oh, okay, I see where he's going.
Yep.
I know what he's doing. At least he's been up front. Jim Crow Joe, just like Obama and Clinton before them, they finesse your way into what they want.
Wait a minute. Cease, you want to hear the real fuckery? Because as bad as we black people are getting screwed, the real fuckery is that Jim Crow Joe's whole platform at this particular point is 3 words. I'm not Trump. Seriously, he ain't really promised nobody except the immigrants. That's really it. He ain't promised nobody else nothing.
Once again, the devil is in the details. He's not Trump. I know you will be worse. And I got my reasons for that.
I hear you. I'm not sitting here seeing my beloved brothers worried that they're going to get locked up sometime in the next 4 years because Donald Trump is back in office. I'm not seeing my brothers worried about that. I'm not seeing my brothers that I know are work-a-day, average, everyday brothers who are square bears, not out in the streets, not doing nothing, talking about what they sales is going to look like if Donald Trump gets another 4 years. Let's just keep it fucking real.
I'm being honest, but I'd rather you tell me up front what the fuck you going to do. If you're going to fuck me over, I don't like it, but if you're upfront about it, I can respect it.
Facts.
That's just me. But you have to, and here's the bad part, for me, personally, because of Obama and those 8 years, it took me 6 years to realize, oh crap, he's been finessing back to sleep. Joe's going to do the same thing.
Yep.
Now, because he has Kamala, sorry, excuse me, sir. With him, see, this is all a game. And it's a big chess game. And the problem is black folks don't know how to play chess. They play checkers. I see what's coming down the pipe.
It's not hard to see what's coming down the pipe, fam.
Actually, it's not hard for people because you play chess. You don't only play chess on the board, but you play chess with life. There's a difference. So you have to stay 5 steps ahead. I'm going to the other people that's playing checkers still, and when they're 4 years old, what the hell happened? How did you get in this state? Because you weren't paying attention. He already said he's not Trump. Once again, devil in the details, and I will stick with that. I know, Mark, you and I sometimes we clash on certain things.
No, fam. You and me, we right there on the same page. He's not Trump says a lot. It says more than we actually are comfortable with addressing, truth be told. That's a conversation I know niggas ain't ready for. Because then we would have to actually analyze not just what's happening to America under Trump. What's happening to black people under Trump? We'd actually have to look at it without emotion, without bullshit. And what we would see ultimately is that nothing really has happened for black people under Trump. Nothing bad, nothing good, nothing worse than what's happening to everybody else for a fucking change. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, Trump ain't came out of left field on some, I'm advocating for this bullshit and getting some law passed through Congress that fucks black people stupid. Right? Trump fucking everybody. He's kind of an equal opportunity corrupt, tin pot dictator. All right? That's the facts. But we know Jim Crow Joe and Kamala Harris's history. We know that. We know that they actively work to harm us. That's why black people are worried. That's why you got black people who are scared. That's why you got brothers making prison jokes. Because they know who the fuck they are. 3 years, we done had Donald Trump. And they've been a shitty 3 years for everybody. But we get Jim Crow Joe Biden and Kamala Chameleon Harris, and it'll be a fairly decent, maybe 4 years for everybody else. But it will be pain for us. And we know that for a fact. If you don't know shit else, you know that. You should know that. And if you don't know that, you got no business being involved in this shit. You need to keep your mouth shut and listen to people that actually follow politics, that actually understand what's happening. Too many people talking. A whole bunch of people talking loud and saying nothing. But hey, fam, I appreciate you, man. I'm going to get ready to wrap this thing on up. Cease, as always, brother, I love you. Thank you so much for your contribution to the broadcast, man. Hump Days are back, all right? And I'm glad to be back, man. So be expecting another one next Wednesday, all right, fam?
Yeah, man. Good looking out, man.
All right, brother. I love you, man. Peace. Fam, like I told the brother Cease, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up because I didn't want to talk too long. Y'all know what it is. Misbehave. They tell us that by us threatening to upset the apple cart, that we're the agents of chaos, that we're the ones that's bringing disorder, confusion. But fam, make no mistake about it. In an era of lawlessness, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You can't uphold to no ideal that puts you and your people in a motherfucking trick bag. What I look like sitting here playing the game by the rules with Jim Crow Joe and Kamala Harris. They don't give a fuck about the rules when it comes to black people. They'll change the rules to make sure they're able to hurt us. What I look like? No. Misbehave, family. Act a plum ass. Politically, since they won't give us what we asking for, then we don't give them what they asking for. Vote for pain for everybody. However you see that. If it's like some of the people in the chat said, vote for Trump, so be it. Caller from 804, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
This is Ben from Midlothian, Virginia.
Ben, what's up, fam? You've been trying to call in for a minute. I appreciate your patience, and I'm glad to get a chance to talk with you, fam. What's good with it?
Well, I was just thinking, I had to think a little bit about why Clinton attacks our brother, and he's our brother, even though he's out of Trinidad, Stokely Carmichael.
Stokely was he was a true. I give it to him. Look, I'm not anti-immigrant. What I am is anti-immigrants coming here acting like, you know what I'm saying? Like we ain't made the way for them. You know what I'm saying? Stokely wasn't that. So all respect due.
Right. And I'm not saying that you are. And a lot of people, and they make a lot of good points about the immigrants that we used to have and the immigrants that we have now. The immigrants black immigrants that used to come in, used to join the black struggle and fight on the same streets and bleed the same blood.
You damn right.
And we only lifted up those that did that.
Yeah, like Sidney Poitier.
We got what's his name? We had Dr. Ben and Schomburg and a whole host.
Yeah, a whole host.
Right. So I'm a member of the I guess the slave descendant tribe, but we had. I'm smart enough to say that hey, what we had then and what we have now is totally different. But at any rate, I think Clinton attacked him, but he actually did us a favor by attacking him, because if you examine what Carmichael did in Alabama, where they had that split in two factions of SNCC.
Yep.
Where they had the nationalist side and the so-called integrational side. The one side wanted to go into the Democratic Party and try to change the Democratic Party from within. Stokely and his group said that was foolish, and he's bared out to be correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So was Malcolm.
And so was Malcolm. And I think that the ancestors, whatever, had Clinton open his mouth about Stokely so we can examine what Stokely was trying to do. His whole thing was to have an independent black political party, period.
Facts.
That would not be beholden to any of the white parties and any of the assimilationist party. When we talk about Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, all that, they would not be beholden to any of those. And what he did, he used the momentum of the assimilationists to form that.
Yep.
There's something to be learned about using others' momentum to fuel what it is what objectives you're trying to
Well, you ain't
done.
kidding. That's what I was hoping we would do with this most recent uprising. Yeah, it was clear to me from the beginning that we didn't go out there and initiate the burning and the rioting and the looting and all that other stuff. But it was a damn fine opportunity for us to take that momentum and run crazy with it.
Right. And I think we can still do well. I think that we can, we're not where we need to be, but we're not where we used to be.
Facts.
That's one thing I'm grateful for. Yeah, we have a bunch of the entertainer and wannabe entertainer clowns opening their mouths out of turn on subjects they know nothing about. Yes. But I don't think that sensible black folks that actually get things done are listening to any of those idiots for political guidance.
You right.
Yes, you're going to have a few of the young and a few of the old that are just so childish when it comes to politics. A lot of those people, if you're relying on that group's vote, that's not a good group to rely on. The sensible slave descendant who sees the writing on the wall is really going to make a difference in this election. But see, we have to. I think we have to do like what Claude Anderson said and what Stokely Carmichael was trying to tell us to do. We must have an independent black party. Now, I don't know if we need to name it. I don't know if we need to, have a loose confederation of just black folks that just have a code and that's how we vote.
Mm-hmm.
But or if we do like Jacory did and take some of these local offices, I vote for that. Really,
I do too. I'm a really big admirer of Brother Jacory. I contributed to his campaign. I support the brother 100% because Jacory made it clear that if this machinery is going to work, it will work to our benefit, or we will grind the motherfucking gears to nubs. We will make it to where it doesn't work for nobody. Jacory is one of the few black politicians that I'm aware of that has made it clear that politics will be for us all or it will be for no one. He's practicing what it is that I continually say, which is that if there is no peace for us, there is no peace for anyone. If there is no justice for us, there is no justice for anyone. If we don't get it, nobody gets it. That's the how would you say, the evolution, if you will, in our political and not just political, but our social economic struggle. For so many years, we've been content to say, well, our time will come. Okay? Right. I'm just keeping it a buck, right? And no shade there, right? We've been contented with saying that, hey, we took MLK at his word. The arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice and things like that, right? We've been content to say that this thing is more passive. But Brother Jacory gives me some degree of optimism because he's saying, no, any gains we have, we are going to have to drag, kicking, screaming, scratching, crying, fighting, bleeding, and dying if need be from this motherfucker to get it. And he's unapologetic about it. That's the beautiful thing about it. He's unapologetic about it. He doesn't sit there and say, well, you guys might have a good point about X, Y, and Z. So, no, Brother Jacory said, I don't care if you don't like that this is the stance. This is what I think is going to benefit my people. And this is what I'm on. Now, either get on board, get ran over, or get out the way.
Right.
And that's that's the attitude. That's what we need across the board in every area of human activity, not just politics. We need that everywhere. Like some people were talking about Akon and the little statements that Akon made about black people should forget about slavery. Fuck Akon.
Exactly.
That fool should never even be able to show. He should be red lit everywhere black Americans are. He should never be able again to go anywhere where we're standing and be at peace. When we see him on sight, it should be at the very least words. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not above fisticuffs.
Oh, he should catch that barrel.
You see what I'm saying? That fool needs to hold an L everywhere he goes.
No, because I mean, look, I'm not advocating for it or anything, but if anything is serious, this is serious, and we don't need any outsiders, which he is, because he has not. He's one of those immigrants that have benefited from us, but has not clearly against going being in favor.
Fam, I want to check Akon's paperwork because he's from that region. He's from Senegal. He's Senegambian. I want his motherfucking receipts. I want the paperwork. When he step on the yard, I want to see his paperwork because he's suspect. Yeah. I want to know if he descends from motherfuckers what sold our people over here before he start talking shit.
Well, see, that's the thing. He agreed with that other culture vulture, Vladdy Dottie. But the thing was, it was just something. He's like, yeah, we were part of it. It wasn't anything apologetic about the tone of his voice saying that Africans were a part of it. It wasn't anything sorrowful in his voice about Africans being a part of it.
Yep.
It's amazing how someone that comes from a country that is getting divided three ways from Sunday by every ethnic group except for the native Senegalese can actually open his mouth to talk about what we need to let go of.
Yep.
How is it that someone who's had to come to our economy that we built and had to use our culture that we built and had to speak to our entertainers and to steal their techniques and steal their methods in order for him to make it, how dare he tell us what we do and do not need?
Facts.
We made that motherfucker. You don't get to, you don't get to open your mouth at all about against your betters.
Facts. So, that goes for all of them. That's why I'm not fucking with that Judas in the Black Messiah movie. I'm not messing with any of that. You ain't gonna throw Daniel Kaluuya in my face and tell me, that it's rain. Damn all that.
Nah. All those clowns need to catch a bad one way or the other. And I think it should be in their wallets because that's what'll make them pay attention.
Yep, I agree.
Any movement to boycott any Trump like that, you can count me in because, quite frankly, they should not speak on our politics at all. We don't speak on Senegalese politics. We don't tell
when we do speak on African politics, because I have spoken on African politics, but when I speak on African politics, I always speak from the point of view of the people. I always want to see the African people uplifted. I don't care about their leaders. I don't give a fuck about their politicians. I support whatever the people in those nations want. 100%. 100%.
No. What I'm talking about is someone with a platform as big as this.
I get where you come.
You're not going to hear, right? You're not going to hear Ice Cube sit up there and say, "Hey, look, you Senegalese motherfuckers need to get from under the boot of whatever colonists."
Right? Yeah, ain't nobody gonna go over to Zimbabwe talking about, you niggas need to leave, Mobutu alone and start messing with old. No, we don't do that.
No, we don't go there with that. In most cases, the African Americans that have entertainers that have said anything say it from the perspective of the people.
Facts.
They say it the way they try to speak on the way you would speak on, in in a manner that is respectful. You know, but this jackass opened his mouth to say that we should let something go. Forget when, you know, he had, due to neocolonialism, he couldn't get shit going where he was from. So, I mean, you know, look what letting it go has done for you.
Yeah, exactly. How you gonna give us that advice? I'd like to let Africa go. Let Africa let colonialism go.
Huh?
I want to see Africa let colonialism go and see how well that worked for them. Right. Don't worry about fighting against. Don't worry about fighting against the DA.
They have let it go. They continue to take the penis up their rectum, the collective rectums.
Yep.
And what they wind up doing is being like Akon at the door of the black slave descendant, asking for our help, asking for our learning our culture, learning how to move economically, and learning how to move politically, learning how to make music and make a product that is sellable to the world, but yet you fuck around and spit in our face telling us to let something go. Why, motherfucker? It didn't work at all for you and your people.
That's real talk.
How dare you?
But see, that's the attitude, fam. Like you said, how dare you? Like the moment Akon even said that shit, it should have been a collective Black American, how dare you, motherfuckers? Like who are you?
Who are you? You are ours. You don't belong. You really don't. We're your customer base. Senegal has, I mean, they may be now, I don't know, but, you know, we were the basis of your success. You know, see, and I got something to say about that other vulture too. You know, don't sit up here and tell us to forget anything when every year we are told not to forget about your ethnic group. Don't you put up anything. Don't you post anything. Don't you support any stars that tell us, Africans or otherwise, to tell Black Americans to forget about reparations when your ethnic group isn't forgetting about anything.
Thank you. We have to constantly remember the Holocaust, the Shoah.
Well, we have right. We have to constantly remember. We have to constantly pay for it. We have to do everything that we have. You know, we have to look. We can't even bring up the atrocities that his people committed against ours.
Yep.
You know, and he knows damn well. He even said it in that little program that they were a part of the transatlantic slave trade.
Facts.
That they were right. And
but Nick Cannon now is having to lick small hat ass in order to just be able to have a place to breathe, because we can't say that shit out loud and still maintain any resources, any livelihood, and so on and so forth. Shit, fuck, I'll look like.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'm trying to figure out, what exactly do they want us to do? But we already know that answer. They want us to just suffer in silence. That's the.
That's it.
That's what they all.
That's all. Look, I say it all the time, fam. I say it all the time. They want us to suffer with grace and silence, but grace is optional. They just want us to suffer in silence, fam. They want the niggas to shut the fuck up and stop squawking so loud.
Right.
But we not.
The thing is, they want, this chump wanted us to come back to the Senegambia area, and that plan didn't work. And we're trying to figure out, why the fuck will we go someplace you didn't want to stay?
Boom.
You know.
Now, don't get me wrong. If Akon was a success in Senegal and transplanted to America, and we like that Senegalese flavor that he brings to the table, we fuck with Akon heavy, and he blew up bigger, and then he was talking about, hey, Black Americans, come fuck with us in Senegal, that would be one thing, right? If Senegal did Akon right, and then he came here and was saying, hey, like I made it in Senegal, y'all can make it too.
Right.
Then I could be like, well, shit, I feel Akon on that, right? You know what I'm saying? He bubbled up over there and came over here, and at least it'd be a story. At least it'd be something I could put my hat on. But we fed you, sheltered you, clothed you, made you. You wouldn't even be Akon without us. And you gonna talk shit? Please.
Hey, look, man. Lest we forget. Yet their greatest scholar, whom we supported, they would have nothing for the great Sheikh Anta Diop had it not been for black slaves.
Thank you. Look, I've read everything Sheikh Anta Diop wrote. I've read pre-colonial Black Africa. The man was a scholar par excellence, and guess what? Africans didn't give a fuck. We single-handedly made Sheikh Anta Diop a thing. Black Americans, Pan-Africans.
Yes.
We made Sheikh Anta Diop a thing.
Exactly. And
not Senegalese.
They damn sure didn't. So, we're trying. I mean, we're trying to figure out why we're getting so much smoke from someone whose country owes a great debt to the slave descendants of America.
You know what? But it's not. Let's be fair. It's not every African of note, because one of the greatest people I respect highly is African. The chairman, the commander in chief, Julius Malema of the EFF.
Oh yeah.
That brother there, man. Woo!
Look, peace be upon him. I'm not saying it's everyone. I'm not going to go there. I'm talking about that Negro.
Yeah, that Negro, Akon, fuck him. But the thing is that the problem is that just like in America, where we, the descendants of the enslaved here in the United States, are always marginalized and sidelined, the EFF is considered a novelty in South Africa, right? They just recently in the last elections was able to even get any people to sit in parliament because they had to share power between the DA and the ANC, right?
Right.
So the thing is that they're coming up, right? But they're having their own internal fight in order to be able to be more representative of the South African people. Now, I, as a Black American who considers myself somebody who looks at geopolitics and looks at everybody's shit, got mad respect for the EFF, and I've been a supporter of Julius Malema for a while now. I'll just say that. Right?
But that's how we do. That's how the slave descendants in America, African Americans, whatever you want to call this group, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We are always for the people. We are always for, man, I don't understand the disrespect. Maybe he should open a history book. Maybe he should do something with himself. Maybe he should be boycotted.
Maybe he should just shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, get boycotted, lose some money, him and DJ Vlad, the vampire.
Yeah.
It's time for us to shut a lot of these folks down.
But you know, Brother Ben, I don't know how long you've been watching me, but there's a saying that I have that applies in this particular circumstance, and it's the reason why Akon, Vlad the Vulture, and other people get to say the shit they say. You cannot want for others being more than they want for themselves. At some point, we as a tribe are going to have to value our lineage and our heritage more than anything. It is going to have to mean more than our very lives, right? Because until it does, there is nothing we can stand on. We don't have anywhere else to stand, right? If we don't honor the fact that we are the descendant of the enslaved here in the United States, if we don't lift that up and honor that as our heritage, as our legacy, as our lineage, where do we stand? We're not Jamaicans. We're not Barbadians. We're not Bayesian. We're not Senegambian. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're not Osu. We're not Akan. We're not Asante. We're not any of that. So if we don't stand on what we know we are, where do we stand? Right?
Right. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's a part of that conversation that annoyed me too. That somehow, but your whole history, everything. I was like, wait a minute, stop for a second. Why is Vlad opening his mouth on what what we go through as far as the history of our people? I'm trying to figure this out. They are for a people that is so damn confused in these two jackasses' minds, they eat an awful lot off of them.
Facts.
They eat off of the culture of this so-called confused group. They eat off of the politics of this so-called confused group. Hold the fuck on. Maybe it's not. Maybe we should say this. Maybe it's not us that's fucking confused. It's you.
Facts. Because I'm not confused. I'm not a motherless child wandering this earth with no home to call my own.
Look, we have the egalitarianism of this country was built by us. The economy built by us. The culture built by us. Anything innovative. You can pretty much say we've had a hand in it.
Let me tell you something, fam. If black people was never in America, these motherfuckers would still be bloodletting and dancing the polkas and shit.
Yeah, they'd be eating, what's the name, corned beef and cabbage and boiled rabbit.
Right.
And all other delightful treats that came from there.
All the delightful culinary treats that exist on the white side of the house.
Yeah. Shepherd's pie, shit like that.
Lord. I can't. Brother Ben, the thing is that it all is, see, this is why I titled today's broadcast The War Within, because at the end of the day, every issue that we've been facing comes down to the fact that we refuse to do what our sister Yvette told us to do, which is just claim the name. I am a descendant of the enslaved, and nobody can take that from me. That is my lineage. That is my heritage. Right. That is my legacy. Right. I am not homeless. Right. I am not without a history. I am not without a people. I have an entire tribe, damn nearly 40 million strong, who came from the killing fields of the South and the damn plantations, through Jim Crow, through it all. I am American. I'm as American as it gets. And you can't tell me shit.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. I know who the fuck I am. I know where I'm from. My ancestors' bones is here. I can go right to where they're buried and read their names and remember them and say their names. I don't have to travel to fucking Africa to see my ancestors. My ancestors is buried in Forest Hill Cemetery in Kansas City, Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead on, brother.
So who the fuck can these people tell me about anything when it comes to me and mine? Right. But as long as we don't put that same value on our lineage and our heritage as they seek to denigrate it, then we will let them denigrate it. You asked the question. You said, how does Vlad get off being able to say the shit he says about our people? Because we let him. Because we don't value our lineage, our heritage, and our culture as much as he does. Because see, Vlad values it because he gets a bag, right? It's completely mercenary for him. Of course he's going to value our culture. It's how he gets paid.
Yeah, I'd like to see him make that kind of money out of his own fucking culture.
Oh, hell no. Vlad wouldn't be enough. Man, look, let Vlad go and be a Jew and try to make some money. Unless he go into Hollywood or some shit like that. And and be a caricature of somebody else. Because it's the only way the Jews in Hollywood make money is they pretend to be white folks, or they pretend to be this folk, or they do space alien movies like Spielberg or some shit like that. Nobody give a fuck about really watching no Jew movies. That's why everybody was so shocked that Schindler's List did so well.
Right. Because, I mean, other than that, I mean, that's the only, I mean, our culture changes every 10 fucking years. It's not more than that. It's not less than that. So it's like we're constantly evolving culturally. We're constantly evolving creatively.
That's our saving grace, fam. We're the only people in America that can do that. Because we had all of our African culture stripped away from us in the crucible of enslavement, we are the only people in America that isn't bound by a historical culture. Our culture is whatever the fuck we make it. That's why everybody else hates us so much. Because white folks is bound by their various little ethnic cultures from where they from. If they English, they bound by English customs or French customs or German customs, right? If you Hispanic, you might be bound by the native culture that your people used to have if they remember it from way back in the day. But most of the time, you bound by Spanish culture and Spanish mores, right? If you Caribbean, you bound by some African shit because they were able to hold on to more of the African stuff than we was, right? Or you bound by whatever the native white culture is on the island that you from. So the Jamaicans is bound by English shit. We the only culture, the only group in this country that has the capability to be able to make our culture whatever we want it to be. We're not bound by the chains of somebody else's culture. Whatever we are, we made ourselves to be. That makes us fucking mighty. And we won't even understand that and pick that up, fam. That shit kills me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why we don't pick that up, but I think part of the reason is that we've been indoctrinated not to pick that up.
I agree.
A lot of what we have created, we've created on our own from pretty much damn near nothing.
Yep.
And even though there's always the media it always throws shade at us on one end, but takes from us on the other end.
Absolutely. That's how you know the shade is bullshit. That's how you know it's bullshit. Yeah. They telling us our culture is violent and this, that, and the third, yet every one of their successful enterprises is borrowing in some way from us.
Right. How to say things. The so-called King's English is supposed to be the standard, but, you can have television commercials talk about get your side hustle on. What?
Or how about AOL's $1 billion slogan, you got mail. That's AAVE all day.
Right.
That's how we talk. When somebody say, hey, did you go to the mailbox? Yeah, you got mail. That's us. But when we say it, we're illiterate. We don't speak English well. We're not articulate. But when they say it, it's worth billions.
Right.
We have to start valuing what we are more than everybody else values what we are. And until we do that, we're fucked. It's as simple as that. Yvette and Tone gave us the tools with the ADOS thing. That's about lineage, heritage, about legacy. And until we put that above everything else, we're done. As simple as that. This isn't rocket science. This isn't hard. Until we value what we are more than everybody else values what we are, we're humped. That's our fight. That's our fight right there. If you wanted to know what we got to fight internally for, we have to fight internally to either get everybody to understand who and what we are as a tribe or get the fuck out. Go burn with everybody else.
A lot of these comfortable Negroes are the ones that you really got to get. Because, they'll vote for Joe Biden because they don't like Trump. I was like, well, that's no reason to vote for a president. That's how you vote for the goddamn prom queen. You don't vote for a president just because you don't like the way he carries himself.
Yep.
You know, or vote against the president because you don't like one guy, the way one guy carries himself as opposed to the other. That's not how you do things. You vote for them based on policy. Now, I talked to I guess, an educator / administrator at one of the local high schools, and for some reason, it didn't compute with him. You know, he's like, well, I'm voting against Trump because of the way he handles COVID, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait a minute. All right. Okay. I guess I can somewhat understand, you know, the way that it was handled, but do you honestly think that putting in Joe Biden, someone who has committed sins against us, who has a rap sheet a mile long against the black community, is a wise decision at this point?
That's like being in the joint and your cellmate is a gang member, so you request a cell transfer to the cell with Big Bubba in it.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. See, because your cellie is in a gang, you know, and he goes around shanking people or whatever the case may be, you gonna put your booty on the line for that. Like, really?
Right.
That don't make no sense.
Right. You know, but they're so comfortable. They never see a lot of these Negroes have never really had to deal with the economy. They never opened up a business. They never had to hustle. You know.
Well, a lot of the Negroes that we talking about though is white connected. Just keeping it a full ass buck, right? They go and get their little degrees and they spend, like, you got to be real careful of a lot of these motherfuckers who just discovered blackness, right? I've been a nigga my whole life, okay? I done been around white folks. I'm married to one, right? But I've been a nigga my whole life, okay? My whole life. Mm-hmm. I was born and raised in the PJs. I've got it out the mud. Whatever I've gotten from America, I've had to drag it kicking and screaming into my grasp, all right? You can't tell me shit about black folk, right? But some of these new Negroes, right? The ones that grew up in the suburbs and went to decent schools and shit, you know, and went to the prom with their little white crush and then went to a PWI and got their degree. And while they was there, you know, somebody called them a nigger. And so now they got their ass on their shoulders because they know they different. Them motherfuckers still want the same white acceptance they always used to having. So whenever they get a chance to get it, specifically if it comes from the nice white liberal, man, they will sell your ass out so fast. Woo! Man, I'm telling you, you ain't see. It's like the Road Runner, okay? It's like Speedy Gonzalez. They will sell your ass out quickly because they don't appreciate what it truly means to have been born in the bottom caste. They've been relatively privileged. But there will come a time in America, Yvette's predicted this, I predicted this, other people in the know predicted this, so ain't none of us better than the other ones. Right? We've all said this. There will come a time in America when your choice in the matter won't matter. When every American might be in a spot where they're hurting. And so at the end of the day, if it's a choice between every American and black Americans, they're going to choose every American and say, fuck you. And you're going to die. And you're going to suffer, right? So if you don't fight now, you won't be able to fight then.
Exactly. And see, a lot of these cats really don't, they've never really had to worry at this point, especially in some of these school districts. They never really had to worry about immigrants taking their little jobs yet. See, the brothers that work the manual labor, they feel the brunt of immigrants coming in.
You ain't bullshit.
And I believe those are the brothers that actually voted for Trump.
Oh yeah.
Because they were like, oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, I know brothers right now that said, I don't give a fuck if Trump walks up and slaps a grandmother in the middle of the motherfucking Black Times Matter Avenue in Washington, D.C. I'm still voting for him because he keeps the motherfucking immigrants out and I keep a job. You can't fault that brother for that. At least he's got a goddamn policy reason why he supports a candidate. Meanwhile, you support Kamala because she went to a motherfucking HBCU and she yells ski-wee and eats hot sauce and dances badly because she light-skinned and she got pretty hair or something? Like, make that shit make sense to me.
Those non, how should I put it? I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but those sort of educated, and I'm educated, blah, 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 but I don't think like it.
You mean those them educated dumb niggas?
Yeah, those sorts don't see that part of the economy. They don't have a direct threat on their little administration.
They will, because when the H-1B visa program is expanded from tech to other areas, which it will be if you see a Biden-Harris administration, they will start to see the brunt of it too. When they are sitting there training their Indian replacement, like many of us working day, blue-collar brothers have had to do with their little Mexican replacement or whatever the case, the Guatemalan replacement, they're gonna figure it out. But by then, it's gonna be too motherfucking late, isn't it? When we need them bastards to stand up and fight because they losing their little ethnic sinecures, don't come crying. That's why I said we got to be ice cold. Don't come crying. Right. Michael Eric Dyson, don't come crying.
I try to tell them.
Van Jones, don't come crying.
I'm trying, brother. You have to go. You have to be cold. You have.
Nah, fam, I'm from Missouri. I can show them better. I can tell them.
Right.
Because when they nigga moment come, don't come crying to me. Go back to them white liberals you caped for and sold us out for, that you refused to push to make them support an agenda that would specifically benefit you and yours. Go back to them. Lean on their good graces. Don't come crying to us.
Yeah. Those dumbasses only need look at the HBCUs and how so many foreign professors have just taken over.
Wait a minute. And they want to talk about HBCUs and shit, right? And they talk about Trump's an asshole, but didn't Trump just completely make sure the HBCUs were completely funded? Period. Right. Point blank, the end.
Period. And the end. No more.
So let me get this straight. Kamala goes to Howard. She's an AKA. But she locked black people the fuck up, put us, keep us in jail, keep supporting the death penalty and all this other shit. But she good. But Trump made sure that not only could Kamala and anybody else who want to go to an HBCU go to one, but generations of black people will be able to go to HBCUs. But somehow he an asshole. Now, don't get me wrong. I got my own issues with Trump. The way he handled coronavirus is absolute shit. And his corruption borders on treason, right? So don't get me wrong. I'm not a motherfucking Trump supporter. All right?
I'm not Trump supporter.
But to sit here and pretend that what Trump has done to black people or against black people or for black people is any worse or any better than the other 44 that came before him, so much, in fact, that I have to work my ass off and give up every shred of my dignity to get him the fuck out? No. I don't feel that. Right. I'm not afraid of Trump.
Yeah, I'm like, why? They don't understand that this is no choice at all. But, this is not, what we're doing here is to choose either one of these for black slaves. There's no choice at all.
Exactly. Like I said, your vote blue no matter who. So y'all can miss me with the scare tactics talking about, well, man, if you don't vote for Biden, you're voting for Trump. Fuck you. I don't care. But if Trump get another 4 years, what the fuck do I care? I don't care.
Yeah,
maybe he'll hurt all of America enough to where they might understand for a moment what it's like to be a nigga in this country and actually give birth to justice. Maybe Trump just might be the best goddamn thing that ever happened to black people. Because he might hurt America so much that they down for justice for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, then maybe America will actually listen to our reparations plan.
You feel me?
Maybe they will.
Maybe another 4 years of Trump. In 2024, when we say reparations, we'll have a presidential candidate say, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. Was there anything else that you guys want to talk about too?
I caught this silly little UVA graduate talking about she wants to, we can't be free unless everyone else is free. I said, oh, Lord, where did I hear that bullshit from? Oh, boy.
Nope, I say it the other way around, fam. See, because here's the thing. We have been acculturated,
right.
like you said.
Exactly. Right, exactly. It should be the other way around.
Yep, if we not free, ain't nobody else free.
Right. Look, the bottom line is they should want us at the top of the heap. You know, we'll be more fair to them than everyone else.
Facts.
Now, granted, we're not going to give you what we get, but hey, you'll get something out the deal. We won't run you out on a rail because we don't particularly like your religion. We'll be fair. We'll be a lot more fair than what they got going on now. They should want the black slave descendant
But see, here's the thing, Ben. It's like I said, fam. Until we value us more than everybody else do, we're going to continue to face what we face. Because like I said, she said that unless everybody free, she's not free. When you fall in love, with our heritage, when you fall in love with our lineage, when you fall in love with our legacy, you never say shit like that. You say, if I'm not free, ain't nobody free. If I don't have peace, ain't nobody having peace. If I don't have resources, don't nobody else get resources. If I don't have good climate, nobody gets good climate. I don't have good schools, nobody gets good schools. You take and make you and yours first, like everybody the fuck else in America. We the only ones playing Jiminy Cricket, being the America's conscience for a country that don't give a fuck about conscience. It's time to stop with that shit, man.
Amen.
Brother, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up, man, but I'm glad I finally got a chance to talk with you, man. I hope you stay around. You definitely contribute a lot to the conversation. You are always welcome to call in, fam, and I appreciate you, man. I hope that you continue to be an angry black sheep, brother.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you too.
Absolutely, brother. I will. Thank you. Peace. And fam, with that one, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. So as you know, Wednesdays is back. Hump days are back, and it is my honor, my pleasure. I've missed them just as much as you probably have. So be on the lookout. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 4:30 Pacific time is my time. And hopefully it'll be our time. So make sure you mark that off on your calendars because I have so much more to say. Fam, if you haven't considered doing so, support your interests, right? Support black media. I ain't gonna beg you, no pressure, right? I know my audience, but if you can call it, hit one of the links to support your brothers in. Support your brother. It helps keep food on my table and a smile on my damn face. Nothing else. All right. And until next time, fam, as always, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to our people.